Happy Monday, folks. How's everyone? It's Monday. It's 6 o'clock. It is the Monday snack. I hope everyone's doing really well. Thanks for popping by again for another 40 minutes of, nonsense really. But an escape, as I say quite often, from the craziness that we find ourselves in. Hope you had a good week. My guest this week is a very lovely guy. We had a great conversation. What was really interesting, can't get my words out. What was really interesting about a conversation, right, was he had this sort of boyhood enthusiasm for the music business. Just a dream of being a musician and that whole thing. He's a wonderful guitarist. The man's name is Adam Bourne. And in this first bit of our chat, what did we talk about? We talked about how he started out on his musical journey. I think you'll enjoy this. I found it really interesting. Here we go. Check this out. Okay, everyone. Today I have with me a very, very special young man. He's a really cool guy. We met relatively recently. Phenomenal guitarist. Really, really great musician. It is the one and only Adam Bourne. Adam, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you? It's really good to see you.
Yeah, I am.
Virtually.
There you go, man. I'm really well. It's great. I know. I'm really happy you decided to do this. It was quite funny sending you the WhatsApp message, and you talking about your trepidation of what might be about what you might be facing over this little 40-minute period.
Yeah. Apprehension and trepidation.
Man, nothing to be worried about, man. It's all good. It's all
just trying to relax into it. Just trying to
chill,
just settle.
It's gonna be great. So you can embellish this, but you have worked with, I understand, the likes of Craig David, Westlife, Tricky, Imelda May,
yep.
Brian McFadden,
yeah,
guitarist to the stars, man, and you know what? What's funny about you? We met doing this really cool corporate gig, which is really good fun. A lot of great musicians. Big shout out to Oksana. Big shout out to Paul. It's really, really great working with you guys. So, from right, my experience of working with you, amazing guitarist, and you appear to have an almost encyclopedic knowledge, right, of the majority of the most famous songs ever written. You know what I'm saying? It's like you call a tune, he knows what keys it's in, you know the parts, and it's always like it's like encyclopedic. It's you're a great reader, and also right, you've got this really. I said this to you before. I can't remember where we were, and I said you've got really wide music vocabulary. You seem to sort of have a handle on a lot of different styles, to a very. I said to Phil last week, in a very sort of authentic way. Really, really cool.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
First question, right? I want you to explain sort of how your musical history, the sort of musical trajectory has contributed to you being so versatile. What were the building blocks of you getting to the point where you are now and the way you kind of approach playing guitar and stuff?
Firstly, that's a huge compliment from you. And I just think I just still see myself as that 16-year-old kid who wants to be Slash, kind of fumbling my way through, playing. I just think the way I picture myself is I'm the kid playing rock licks over the pop tunes, and that's kind of like, and figuring everything else out as it goes around it. I mean, I started off when I was probably 7 or 8, I think. I started playing piano.
Okay.
Not a musical family at all.
Right.
My mum plays piano. I know she's going to watch this, so I'm going to say plays piano.
Right, okay.
And, I can remember in lessons really young for a few years. And then I just kind of decided that I just don't think I thought it was cool, which, was...
Piano or music?
Piano. I was definitely still,
right.
I was definitely still into music and still listened. And,
okay.
I was more interested in playing football and just being a young kid, which obviously now I regret. But it wasn't until I was about 16 and I was sort of, you know, showing some kind of interest in guitar and music again, really. And my dad was just like, you know, why don't you try playing guitar? It was the summer 2001, and I got this Sunburst. The brand was Vintage Strat. I mean, the action was probably, you know, 2 inches high. It was impossible to play. The first song I ever learned to play was Oasis' "Don't Look Back in Anger," because I thought, this is in C major. I actually remember the first time I got a guitar, I was like, I don't know how this works, don't know how it's tuned up. It must be A, B, C, D, E, F. I don't know where the G is, but it must be that. And I tried to tune my high E string to F, snapped it. So I didn't actually have another. I had 5 strings for like a week.
Right.
And then I discovered how it was actually tuned. But from there, I kind of started to kind of move into. I got into a band with some good mates of mine, and started to move into playing more kind of like pop punk music and sort of Blink 182 and all that kind of stuff. Then it was more. It got heavier and heavier and heavier. It was like Metallica, Megadeth. Then it was like Meshuggah. Then it was Opeth. Then it was anything. It was Dream Theater was a huge influence.
So it was always the rock thing in those early days, right? You were just
completely, and Guns N' Roses obviously as well.
Right.
And it was always, to me, it was always sort of. It got to the point where if it wasn't about 12 minutes long and didn't have at least 3 solos in it, it probably wasn't worth listening to, you know. And it was that was completely my approach to it, especially with you know, when I was listening to progressive metal and all that kind of thing. Anyway, so I kind of went down that road, and I always thought that you know, that learning that kind of style and learning that kind of thing really helped me to kind of focus on technique without really focusing on technique, if that makes sense. Because
you have to have technique to play, yeah. All right, that's a very interesting thing, especially because working with you and sort of, you know, doing gigs with you, you've got a handle on the contemporary pop stuff, the funky stuff, you know what I mean. You can fusiony, you can cover it all, and quite often, I don't often come across guys. I'm trying to think of guitarists. I think most of the guitarists I come across were probably into the jazz side of things from the off.
Yeah,
and got into the rock thing later rather than the other way around. Appreciate the rock thing later on, even though, you know, the rock god thing as kids normally it's what you'd expect little boys to want to do.
I had this little 10-watt practice amp, which I was convinced in my head, I was like, that sounds exactly like what I'm hearing on TV. It sounds exactly the same, and exactly what I'm hearing on these records. That distortion that was super buzzy and like really scooped. You know, it was just. I mean, I would love to go back and play it now because it probably sounded horrendous. Right. But so I kind of went down that path, very much down that path. And like I said, I was focusing on technique without ever focusing on technique. And I had the John Petrucci Rock Discipline DVD that when I was by this point I would have been probably 18 or 19, that I would genuinely just put on and watch in bed like at night. It's like watching instructional guitar videos in bed. Sounds unbelievably uncool.
That's quite funny, right? Because that's a demo of one of the tunes on my new album, and it's not actually a big old thrashy guitar thing, but I thought, because he's a fan, I thought, man, because Adam's a proper kind of, you know, rock god thing, I thought, yeah, throw a big shreddy guitar solo over the top, and yeah, it's really funny. Let me say hi to some folks. Mick Crook, Mick, great to see you, man. Andy Colthart, thanks for dropping by. Christian, Stefan, And oh, guess what? Oh, Matt, you're there as well. I was building up, Matt. You interrupted me there, Matt, because I was building up to the Mrs. S. Mrs. S. is in the house, and the smallest small is also in the house. The smallest small, right? The smallest small is casting me aside the last few episodes. She's found far better things to do with her time. But apparently, the smallest small is in the house. I'm privileged that she's, blessed me with her presence. The smallest small's in the house. Anita, great to see you as well. You're cooking. What are you cooking, Anita, man? Put it in the chat. I want to know you're cooking. Listen, why you're cooking? Yeah, you're making me peckish. Be good to know. We're all going to find out, folks, what Anita's cooking in a second. Yeah? Great. Right. Anyway, the next bit of our chat, what I found really endearing about chatting with Adam, we were chatting for hours, man. Even after the interview, I think we stayed on Zoom for about another 2 hours or something ridiculous. Anyway, but what I found really endearing, he's still got this boyhood excitement about playing guitar. It's actually quite cute, you know what I'm saying? So we continued talking about that, and he kind of explained how he realised his dream. Yeah, check it out. Here we go.
And my kind of moment of a sort of epiphany was, there was a TV show around the mid-2000s called, the initial one was called Rockstar in Excess, but it's called Rockstar Supernova, was the one I saw. And it was, the idea was, it was a super group. There was like Jason Newsted from Metallica, there was Tommy Lee, Gilby Clarke used to be in Guns N' Roses, and there was somebody else as well. But they were looking for a singer. That was the whole point of the show. It was just like a X Factor for rock musicians kind of thing. And it was like this really slickly produced American TV show. And it was on Sky One at the time. And I remember seeing it completely by chance. Watched a few episodes, and I was like, the guitar player was a guy called Rafael Moreira. And I loved his playing. He was kind of very much what I wanted to be. He was like this rock guy, but had loads and loads of great feel, loads of great licks, all the chops, but he could play stylistically, he could flip, as much as you can within those parameters of that TV show. So that was like, right, that's what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. So I found out he went to MIT in LA. So I was like, right, maybe I need to do that. That was kind of like just that simple. Went through the whole process of that, and then it was, because I was an international student, it was going to be incredibly prohibitive for me to, it was something like $60,000. I think it was $60,000 per semester, or maybe it's $6,000 per year, but it was like going to be incredibly expensive, and I just didn't have the funds to do it. So from there, I decided, well, maybe if I'm not going to go to LA, I'll go to London instead. Because, fixated on this idea that, well, I want to play guitar, but I want to do it for people and not necessarily do my own thing. I don't want to do the band thing. Right. I want to just play. And it was always just playing. It was never writing. It was just, I just want to play. I just want to play guitar. I like the sound of the guitar. I like the sound of music. I like how it all fits together. I like, this kind of relationship between all the instruments and how that sounds as a whole. And I want to be that part of it. And, so yeah, I applied to go to the Musicians Institute in London, or it's called now the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance. So I was 23, started this course, and then that's, stylistically there, I guess I picked things up, getting back to your original point, I guess I picked things up through that course. Like there was like a styles class, and there was sort of LPW every week, where it'd be like, okay, 4 weeks we're going to do disco, 4 weeks we're going to do jazz, 4 weeks we're going to do blues, 4 weeks we're going to do rock, 4 weeks we're going to do whatever. And I remember then going sort of, through the course, as it were, still not really gigging, and then Justin Shaw, who I know you know, really great mate of mine.
Yeah, wonderul player.
Yeah,
great job.
Wicked player, one of my best mates, who I've now known for 13 years, and he was like, have you ever do you do functions? And I was kind of like, wow, what's a function, kind of thing. Just didn't, I'd done a few gigs, it'd never been on my radar. So I was like 25, nearly 26 years old, and he was like, yeah, come and do this function for this band that I run. So I got sent this set list over, or a Spotify playlist on maybe, and I've still got it saved on my Spotify. I saw it just recently, and there was all these tunes on there. There was like Stevie Wonder tunes, there were Sister Sledge tunes, there were, I don't know, all the function classics that we all know now as the standard tunes. And I'm thinking, this is like Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday in the week, and the gig's on Saturday. I'm thinking, how on earth, how am I going to learn all these tunes?
It seems to me that over your rocky shredding Music Institute period of time, something kind of happened in terms of the way that you learn. There's a secret sauce, there's an X factor to doing to doing the music thing, to doing the session musician thing, to doing the funk thing at a level that is more than just merely competent, at a level that is actually, that's a good player. You have that thing where, you know, the first time we met, we were sitting on the plan thinking, man, this guy can play. This guy can play. And nothing mad. It's not like Weather Report. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy is happening. Yeah. We're playing pop tunes, but everyone in the room was a really nice player. Yeah? You've developed this thing whereby you're almost like a chameleon, where, you know, stuff can be thrown at you and it all sounds great and all feels really great.
Yeah.
If you play a C11, there we go, and then you flatten these two fingers.
Oh yeah. That's the vibe you want.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. That's the one. That's the one.
You want that over the whole thing, yeah?
Funky dude, you know. It's really cool.
Can we do another one?
Yeah. Let's go again. Here we go. Oh yeah, he is. He's very, very, very funky dude. Very, very, very funky dude. Okay, folks. Hot off the press. Anita is cooking, right? Veg curry with lentil tortillas. Doesn't that make your stomach rumble? Hey, man, yeah. Let's know how it tastes. Anita, when you're done, yeah? Once you've wiped your plate clean, let us know what the verdict was. Cool. Right, so hi to Chloe. Hi to Daniel, who's just popped up. Great to see you, Dan. Hi to Chloe. Who's we got? We've got Dave. Dave as well. Thanks for popping by. Cool. Right. What's she saying? Oh, Mrs. S is getting involved. What's she saying? Oh, musical languages. She wants to know about how many musical languages I speak. Which I guess is I'm gonna have to work that one out. My sweet. Oh, Matty, good to see you as well. Wonderful. Right. Okay. Next thing. Oh, sorry. So Anita, my wife's asking, do you deliver? Mrs. S wants to know if you deliver. Very funny. It's getting rowdy today. This is good. I like it when it's rowdy. Right. So it was time for the quiz. Now, those of you that normally hear know I try to pride myself on tripping up my guests with my little quizzes. It was a very, very assured performance from young Bourne this week. Ice cool. Tried very hard this one, but he seemed to be very kind of reserved. Kind of had his responses down. You'll see. You'll get the idea. Here we go. Impossible choice quiz. We're jumping to quiz, my friend.
Oh, this is the apprehension. This is where the apprehension starts.
No, man, no. We're jumping to the impossible choice quiz, right? This is very, very gentle. Really, really gentle. There's nothing, man. Nothing sort of
Says
controversial.
The guy who's done about 14 of these.
Nothing controversial here whatsoever, right? The impossible choice quiz. You know how it works, right? I give you two alternatives. You make a choice. No hesitation.
Okay.
Right? Here we go. Right. First thing. Guitars. Telecaster or Strat?
Strat.
Okay. I thought we'd say that. It's good. See?
Do I need to quantify that, or does it?
No.
Or qualify that?
No.
Okay.
When you're chunking, it makes sense to me, man. You're a Strat guy, right? Next question, right? Which guitar riff do you wish you wrote? Right?
Which guitar riff do I wish I wrote?
It's either
Ah.
Seven Nation Army, White Stripes, or Are You Gonna Go My Way, Lenny Kravitz. Which one of those two do you wish you wrote?
Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Okay. Cool. Lovely,
Yeah,
lovely.
Definitely.
Guitarists, Eddie Van Halen or Slash?
I'm gonna go with Van Halen. I
that
grew up wanting to
surprised
be
me.
Slash.
Okay.
But Van Halen, like, you know, since Van Halen.
Van Halen, cool. Okay.
But his rhythm playing more than anything else. That feel, that swing that is impossible to replicate if you're not him. It's just
Right.
he has some magic.
Cool.
Slash is great. I love Slash, and I'll always love Slash, and but yeah,
Cool.
Van Halen.
Okay, lovely. Right, you get the chance to play with either of these two artists. Which one do you pick? Camila Cabello or Pink?
Pink,
Good choice.
without hesitation.
Good choice. And lastly, another guitar riff question. Which of these two riffs do you wish you wrote? Yeah? Sex Machine, James Brown, or Play That Funky Music, Wild Cherry?
Sex Machine.
Okay.
Just
Now,
because it's literally sitting on that.
Okay. You know something? What's interesting, right? Normally there's at least one stumps a guest. You were too cool for school all the way through, man. You were just like...
If you asked me the last time I played anything like Sex Machine, though, it's a long time ago. I actually tried to play through something. I've got some old gig recordings about a month ago, and playing through that style, this part of my forearm just started to like
seize up.
Seize up and lock up. I was like, I need to get back into this.
Cool, right. There's another quiz on the way. There's another quiz coming. Yeah, you see what I mean? There was slight, very, very slight hesitation. But I couldn't get one of those kind of, oh no, reactions from him. No, he had kind of had his whole James Bond cool thing down. Hi to Heather. Glad you're enjoying it. Really nice to see you. Right. Next bit of our chat, right? So, not all problems, right, that we musicians face are actually musical ones. Sometimes you're kind of skirting this mad kind of political tightrope, trying not to get fired, trying not to end up in some kind of controversy. So, hi to Keith. Great to see you, man. So quite often, you're kind of walking this tightrope. You're thinking, oh, hold on a second, what's kind of going on here? Adam, he relayed a very, very funny story about one of those situations. Check this out. Here we go. I've watched you work as an MD, yeah? And you seem extremely unflappable. Extremely unflappable. You're always thinking quickly on your feet. And I remember us doing a gig together that went horribly, horribly wrong. You know, the one north of the border, right?
It shall forever be known as north of the border, and then we can leave it there. That was a dark day. It was a very dark day.
Oh, it was a dark day. So for the viewers, I'm not going to go into any real details, but it was a very, very affluent client. This event was absolutely nuts. And it got to the point where the client just said to the band, just stop.
It was almost like the Hut came on the stage and pulled us.
It was like before that. Yeah, just stop playing. Just stop.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was deeply embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'm concerned, but at least we can laugh about it now, like 3 years
later. Yeah, exactly. Now, have you got any examples, of where you've had to use that extensive experience you've got to pull stuff out of the fire? And I mean, not just as an MD, but also as a side man. Because watching you work and what you've described about your progression to the stage right now, they've got to have been some nightmare gigs, man. Happens to all of us, man. They've got to have been. So can you point to a point where you've had to kind of dig deep to think, okay, I need to make something happen here, or things are going to go horribly badly.
The first example I can think of is, and I won't sort of name any names.
Please don't. Yeah.
I got pulled into a situation where huge band, big ensemble band. I think there was 2, maybe 3 guitar players in this band, and it was like a charity gig. There was an acoustic set with an artist, and I wasn't supposed to be doing this particular bit. So I was just literally, I wandered in to the main rehearsal room. I'd been kind of chilling in the lounge, wandered in, just standing at the back of the room. I'm just watching and just enjoying it. I'm like, it sounds great, you know. There's a piano and there's percussion, and there's the artist, and the artist plays a bit of guitar as well. So I'm just sitting watching it, and then the manager of the artist who's in the room turns to the MD. I'm not MDing this. I'm just playing, and he goes, "Oh, it'd be great to have some guitar in this." So I'm like, shall I go and get the other guy, kind of thing. I just kind of motion, shall I? And the MD's like, no, jump on this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, when I say I've been watching it, I hadn't really been taking it in. I just been kind of observing it and just kind of like daydreaming, maybe get my phone out now and again, check in. So anyway, I kind of wander over, kind of thinking, okay, right, so I'm gonna have to. That's fine. You know, I've heard it enough times. They've probably gone through it 3 times. I've been watching it. So I put the guitar, and I just thought, well, I'll just play something a bit kind of ambient-y with some nice delays, and they'll just fill a bit of space, and you know, kind of just try and stay out of their way, but not, you know, just try and fumble through it. So that was fine, and it was really fine. And I got through that tune, and I was thinking, oh, it's fine, I've survived, it's cool. I'm kind of looking kind of behind the manager, behind the artist, thinking, where is the other guy? Where is he going to come in? So then I'm sitting there, kind of still sitting in the chair, and they're like, right, let's move on to the next tune. And I'm like, I've never heard the other tune. I don't know what this other tune is. And I'm not aware if the artist knows that I'm not supposed to be playing guitar for them in this. Yeah, like I haven't prepped anything. I haven't even heard the song. I'm like, no idea. Like, I'm not aware of their material really. So I'm like, oh, okay. Just thinking, they're like, yeah, so shall we do it? And I'm like, so I turn to the artist who's holding their guitar still. I'm like, can you just show me how you play it so I can kind of get an idea of how you play it and I can kind of copy it? And I'm thinking, right, if ever there's a moment that I need to use these kind of retention skills that I've somehow managed to gain over the years, this is it. And they're playing the tune at me, and I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah. Taking it in. I'm like, yeah, cool. So the tune's in A, but they're playing it with a capo, and they're playing it as if it's in G. I'm like, cool. This is all good stuff. Great. So I'm like learning it, and I can't make them play the tune multiple times. I think I've got one pass here. Yeah. I've got one chance to remember this, because I can't just go, oh yeah. So not only am I not the guy, I haven't told you I'm not the guy, and I'm just kind of pretending I am the guy. So I'm like, yeah, cool, got this, fine. So I start playing the tune, and it gets to the chorus, and they stop me and they go, oh no, there's actually a break. There's a break right there, right before, you know, there's a little stop on the one. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, sure, yeah, sorry, yeah, my bad, I got it. And I'm trying to fumbling through, and as it comes to the second chorus, I'm thinking, what if there's a middle eight? Like, what if there's a middle eight that goes somewhere completely different? And I've got no idea, because I've never heard it before. Anyway, so then the keys player, something happened where we stopped for a second, and the keys player, I just saw this hand come over my head and drop a chart onto my music stand there that I don't know if they'd already had. I don't know if they'd written it, scribbled it out. It was like scribbled. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is incredible. So I put it down. And remember then I'd said that they were playing it with a capo. Yeah. And obviously then the chart is written.
Oh, man. A tone up, right. Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly. It was a tone out the whole time. And I'm like trying to fumble through. And luckily I got through it, and it was fine. And the tune was fun. It was fairly simple, but it was a good tune. It was, luckily the hook was quite memorable. So I was kind of like, oh, this is the chorus kind of thing. You know, those kind of moments where you feel like this is all coming in on me. And also because I didn't want to kind of say to the artist or the management, the MD has just thrown me in here.
There's that kind of thing sometimes where politically you've got to walk this tightrope of, if you actually say what's going on, you're throwing someone else under the bus.
I'm throwing him under the bus completely. I don't want to turn around and go... You're throwing someone else under the bus. It's like, what do you mean you didn't know anything? What's going on? And then all of a sudden... exactly. If I turn around and go, yeah, I'm really sorry, but I've actually been thrown into the deep end here. I've been thrown under the bus by that guy. I'm never going to do that. No one's ever going to do that if they, A, want to keep their job, and B, want to retain a relationship. And also, it's not the artist's problem. It's not the manager's problem. It's like, I'm a guitar player. That's all they care about. And rightly so.
I can't remember what it was, but I remember a manager saying to me, very, very early on, I think one of my early MD situations, I think I kind of went there in terms of organisation was really, really bad. Manager turned up expecting one thing, but I hadn't been given the files, the data, whatever it was. There's no way I could have been expected to, execute what they were asking because they hadn't provided stuff. And I started to go there, and he just stopped me and went, I don't need to be hearing problems. I don't need to be hearing about what's hard.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And when I heard that, I stopped talking, and it kind of stayed with me. They just don't want to know. They're not interested.
That could be the same in any industry as well, because the guy that's assigning you the job, whatever that job is, the guy that's, whether it's booked you or hired you, whatever you want to, or however you want to phrase it, they don't care how you get the job done. They just want the job done. And it's like they've hired you because they think you're competent enough to do that. And it's, and likewise, there's not the scope in that situation for me to go, this is his fault, not mine. And no one's ever going to do that. And luckily it was fine, and we did it on the gig, and it was great. And it was, and I really, I can actually, I don't know if it's because of that, I can still remember the tune. I can still remember everything about it. It's like it's been etched into my memory. I could be put up on stage now, and I've not done this properly for a year, and be like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry, it's fine.
Really, really funny story. That's a really, really funny story. You know what? We need to do some menu reconnaissance. We need some feedback. Anita, how's dinner going, man? How's dinner going? How the lentils, man? I want to know. We need to know. It's important. Everyone wants to know. So we want to see it in the chat how dinner's going. Right. Hi to Mark, Mr. Turner, Steve Turner. Cool, great to see you, man. I think I saw a thumbs up from Ant. I think I saw you there, mate. Hope you're well. Ollie. Hi to Ollie. Who else we got? Hi to Paul. Hi to Ben. And I think I said hi to Keith at the start as well. To Hugh as well. I think I said hi to Hugh. Great to see everybody. Great to see everyone. Right. Right. What we're up to? What we doing? We are up to the Tour Life Pop Quiz. Right. Adam was a bit nervous about this. He was a bit nervous about this one, right? But again, you know what? He kind of held his own. He held his own. He was very measured. Very, very measured. I think there was one occasion where, he kind of did the whole callous, let me abandon my principles thing. But essentially, he did very, very well. Very, very cool customer this week. So here it is, folks. The Tour Life Pop Quiz. Here we go. This, my friend, is like the Monday snack jewel in the crown. This is the Tour Life Pop Quiz. Now, I just come up with really, really bizarre, improbable scenarios and expect you to somehow navigate them and come up with with an answer as to what you would do if placed in these particular positions, right? So, here's the first one. You're performing, right, with one of the most in-demand function bands at an insanely lavish high society wedding. It's set on a grand country estate. With me? Mm-hmm. The bride and groom's families, they're both well-connected members of the whole British aristocracy thing. This is one of the full-on high society weddings. The wedding itself, nothing short of a fairy tale. Yeah, and the band really well received by all the guests. You've been on a break, and you've got 20 minutes or so before the final set of the night. But you're thinking, you know what? I'm going to pop back to my car just to grab a spare guitar, just in case, So you take a secluded shortcut through the mansion, and eventually you turn a corner and you head outside, and you find the groom on his hands and knees, and he's next to an immaculate two-door Aston Martin. He's in an obvious state of distress. He looks tearful, he looks panicked, frantically searching for something. Patting his pockets, he's on the ground looking for stuff. So being the sensitive guy you are, right, you're like, oh, you okay? What's wrong? He said, look, he can't find his car keys. He needs to get away. He's just left his new bride in tears because he told her he thinks it was a big mistake getting married in the first place. Right?
This is heavy stuff, man.
It's heavy stuff, man. So he grabs your shoulders. He's pleading with you. Look, you got to help me search these keys, man. You're both scanning the area. You're both scanning it. In the distance, you hear voices calling his name, right? It's the bride, and her family. They're looking for him. They're getting closer and closer. He needs to get away, right? At the corner of your eye, you see the car keys slightly concealed in the gravel, right? His missus, she's nearly there, right? So do you grab the key and let the groom get away in the nick of time, or do you simply keep quiet and let him face the music?
I'm not getting involved in that, man. I'm not getting in the middle of that.
So you...
I'm probably going to ignore the fact that I saw the keys and just slink off to where I was going. I don't want to get in the middle of anybody's business like that.
Good answer. Very, very good answer. Good. Lovely. Right, it's next one. You've been flown to New York for a recording session with a new teenage pop sensation. Right? At that point in time, she's primed to be one of the biggest artists on the planet. Right? She's the next big thing. You arrive for the session, you take a lift up a few floors to the studio. You walk into the control room, you meet the artist, the producer, and the artist's mother, who doubles as a manager. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So things get underway, right? But it's kind of heavy going. Artist's mum, complete nightmare. She's a nightmare. Insisting on giving continual input. She's criticising your playing, generally being really unpleasant. She just has not taken to you at all. Because the artist is such hot property, the producer, he just feels powerless. He can't get involved. Even though it's clear he's loving what you're doing. So there's a break for lunch. You head out to clear your head, go get a coffee. So you've gone out to Starbucks. As you return, you enter the building's main reception. There's a maintenance guy in overalls by the lift. He's chatting to one of the office workers, and he's like saying, look, the lift is on the blink the day before. I think it's messing up again. Look, take the stairs. I'm gonna run to my office and get a sign and get the keys to kind of just lock off the lift because it's not working. The day before, it took 2 hours. Someone was stuck there for 2 hours. So you think, oh mate, so you turn around you're on your way to the stairs. You see artist's mum. She's been out as well to get a coffee. She's on her way in. She's on her way to the lift, right? You think to yourself, there's no one else around. You think to yourself, if she gets in the lift, right, and she's stuck in there for 2 hours, I'll get the session done, right? So, do you usher her into the lift quickly, or do you warn her and all right, the lift's not working, come upstairs? Which one do you do?
She can get in the lift, mate. Do you know what? I'll ping the button myself. Come on. Maybe a gentle nudge in. Close those doors.
Good. That's what I like. You see, you abandoned your principles. That's what it's all about. Lovely. Right, here we go. Last one. It's your favourite great Aunt Margaret's 80th birthday. Yeah?
Yeah.
She's your favourite aunt. You know why she's your favourite aunt? She's your favourite aunt because she bought you your first guitar when you were 6 years old. Yeah? And she's been your biggest fan ever since. She always affectionately calls you Little AB. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Your Little AB, right? As a birthday treat for her, right? You've promised to drive up to her nursing home in the Midlands, yeah? And give her and all her friends a personal solo guitar mini gig. You promised her. She's your favourite Aunt Marge, right? Her birthday, however, falls on the same day as the International Guitar Show at the Excel Centre, where you're going to play a headline slot for the Fractal Guitar Effects Company, right? Mm-hmm. There's plenty of time to do the trade show and still make Auntie Marge's little exclusive show. Trade show gig goes down the storm, man. You killed it. And, everyone's just like, oh my gosh, it's Adam Bourne, he's the man. Right? As you're packing away, Auntie Marge sends a WhatsApp video of her and her friends, Edna and Joyce, and they're all excited about you coming down. They're really excited, yeah? So, you pack away stuff, you grab your guitar, you head in towards exits. The CEO of Fractal comes over. He's gushing, man. He's like, oh, Adam, we're so pleased that you're part of the Fractal family. There's someone I really need you to meet, right? He takes you over to the VIP area. None other than Lenny Kravitz. Lenny's standing there, right? Now, Lenny's normally cool. Lenny's normally a very cool, very reserved guy. But, man, he's beside himself. He's gushing. He's fawning over you, man. He says, look, man, Adam, I'm leaving for LA in the morning. I absolutely need to take you out to dinner tonight. We need to talk about you joining the band, recording on my new album. Yeah? So, bruv, do you tell Auntie Marge the gig is off, my friend? Or do you tell Lenny, the woman practically responsible for your career to date, has to come first? Which one?
Do you know what? I would have answered this question very differently, like prior to the situation that's happened in the last year. But one thing I've learned in the last year, and I don't have an auntie. I'm an only child. My parents are one's an only child and one lost their brother, and like, I think I would choose the family, and I really do think that now. the career can wait kind of thing. Some things are more important. So yeah, I choose Artie Marsh.
I love that answer, my friend. I love that answer. Very, very cool. See? Character always comes round in the end.
Hey mate, I said a year ago I might not have chosen that, but no, yeah, I'll choose that.
Wonderful. Adam Bourne, we are done. Mate, thanks for doing this, man. It's been brilliant. Really, really cool.
Thank you for having me. I've really, really enjoyed it. I was apprehensive. I didn't know how intense this was going to get, but I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Nothing to be concerned about, my friend. Really, really happening. And I hope we get to do some playing soon.
Yes, I hope so too. I mean,
some stuff. It's really,
when
really
that's going to be, I don't know, but fingers crossed, mate. It's
Right. But until then, mate, take care. See you soon, yeah.
You too. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Oh, you see Chloe? He's a keeper, man. He's a keeper, Chloe. You know that. You know that anyway, don't you? Right. Update, everyone. Update. Anita's dinner, right? It's a major culinary operation. Apparently there were peas soaking for hours. She's trying to rescue it. It's a big deal. I think we're gonna need an update next week. Anita, you got to come back on next week. We're gonna know what you're cooking next week, right? Wonderful. John Fisher, my first international viewer. John is there, stretched out probably on a beach in Jamaica right now, while we're all freezing in the damp cold. John, we're not bitter. We're not bitter. Great to see you there, man. Great to see you. Guys, it's been amazing. I'm really, really happy. Everyone played along. The chat's been really, really funny today. Really, really funny. Great to see you all. Adam, you are a star, an absolute star. Always great working with you. Thanks so much for doing the interview. And as per usual, folks, go and visit my website. andrewsmall.net. Few cool things on there. I'm trying to get some stuff updated. There's some fun stuff on the way with that. The track you heard Adam playing is on my new album, but there's some really cool stuff on my first record. It's What Happens Now. It's available in all the usual places, so grab it if you think you might fancy that kind of thing. My social media handle, Andrew Small Drums. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, it's also YouTube. And as per usual on YouTube, you can watch the whole show again once I upload it later on tonight. It'd be really, really great, guys, if you could subscribe, if you could like, if you could hit that notification bell. Just help me support the channel so I can keep doing silly stuff like this, really. So, folks, that's it. That's the show for today. Really great to see you all. Keep safe. Let's keep sane. And I really hope to see you all again next time. Got a great guest next week. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.